Stop. Before you scroll past this video, I need you to hear something that most doctors won't tell you until it's already too late. If you are over 60 years old, and you've noticed even the smallest change in your vision, a little blur here, a shadow there, maybe colors that don't look quite as bright as they used to, do not ignore it. I'm not trying to scare you, I am trying to save your eyesight. My name is Dr. Name, and in over 2 decades of practicing ophthalmology, I have sat across from thousands of patients. Good people, smart people, who waited just a little too long. They thought it was just aging. They thought it would pass. It didn't. And by the time they came to see me, there was nothing I could do. Today, I'm going to walk you through the 5 most critical vision changes that people over 60 experience, ranked from serious to you need to act right now. And here's what makes this video different from anything else you'll find online. Most lists will tell you what to watch for. I'm going to tell you why it's happening inside your eye, what it means for your future, and exactly what to do before permanent damage sets in. Because here's the truth that keeps me up at night as a doctor. Blindness in most cases is not inevitable. It is preventable, but only if you catch the warning signs in time. The number 1 change on this list, the one I'll reveal at the end of this video, is something that affects 1 in 3 people over the age of 65. And the majority of them have absolutely no idea it's already happening to them right now. No pain, no obvious symptoms, just slow, silent damage, stealing your vision one day at a time. Are you at risk? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will know exactly what to look for, what to do, and how to protect the gift of sight for the rest of your life. Let's start with number 5. Number 5, you need more light just to read. It sounds so simple, so innocent. You're sitting in your favorite chair, reading a book, and you reach over to turn on the lamp. But the lamp is already on. So you grab your phone, turn up the screen brightness all the way, and it's still not enough. You think, I'm just getting older. This is normal. And here's the dangerous part. You're half right. It is common after 60. But common does not mean safe. And it absolutely does not mean you should ignore it. Here's what's actually happening inside your eye. Your pupil, the dark circle that controls how much light enters, begins to shrink with age. At 20 years old, your pupil in low light can open up to 8 millimeters wide. By the time you reach 60, it may only open to 4 millimeters. Half the light, half the information, half the world. On top of that, your lens, the natural focusing system inside your eye, begins to yellow and thicken. It starts filtering out light before it even reaches your retina. So your brain is receiving a dim, slightly distorted image and working twice as hard to make sense of it. I had a patient, let's call her Margaret, 72 years old, retired school teacher. She came into my office not because of her eyes, but because she'd had 2 minor car accidents in the last 6 months. Both times at dusk. She wasn't reckless. She wasn't distracted. She simply could not see well enough in low light to react in time. We caught early-stage cataracts that same day. What you should do, if you're regularly increasing light sources to do tasks you used to do easily, reading, cooking, driving at night, book an eye exam immediately. Do not wait for your annual checkup. This symptom is your eye waving a red flag. Number 4, straight lines that look wavy or bent. Now we move into something more serious. I want you to do something right now. Look at the edge of your screen, or a door frame, or any straight line in the room around you. Is it perfectly straight? Or does it bow slightly, like it's curving away from you? If you noticed even a subtle wave, please do not dismiss it, because that gentle bend in a straight line could be one of the earliest signs of macular degeneration, one of the leading causes of irreversible vision loss in adults over 60. Here's the science. In the very center of your retina sits a tiny but extraordinarily powerful region called the macula. It's responsible for everything you see directly in front of you, faces, words, fine detail. When the macula begins to deteriorate, the cells that process central vision start to break down or fluid begins to build up underneath the retina, physically distorting it, like a bubble forming under wallpaper. The result? Straight lines bend, faces blur in the center. Reading becomes frustrating, then difficult, then impossible. The terrifying statistic? Age-related macular degeneration affects over 11 million Americans, and it is the number 1 cause of severe vision loss in people over 60. And yet, when caught early, progression can often be significantly slowed. I remember a patient, a retired architect named Robert. He came in for a routine checkup, almost canceled the appointment, said he felt fine. During the exam, I showed him an Amsler grid, a simple checkerboard pattern we use to detect macular distortion. The lines in the center? Wavy. Clearly wavy. He had no idea. We began treatment within the week. Today, 3 years later, Robert still drives, still reads blueprints, still sees. What you should do, get an Amsler grid. You can find one online for free, and test each eye separately right now. Cover one eye, look at the center dot, and check if any lines appear distorted. If they do, call an eye doctor today, not tomorrow. Today, because with macular degeneration, every single day matters. Number 3, sudden flashes of light or a curtain closing across your vision. I need you to listen very carefully to what I'm about to say. If you have ever seen a sudden flash of light in your peripheral vision, like a camera going off at the edge of your eye, or if you've noticed what feels like a dark shadow, a curtain, slowly creeping in from the side of your vision, stop whatever you are doing and go to an emergency eye clinic. Not tomorrow morning, not after dinner, right now. Because what I'm describing could be a retinal detachment, and it is one of the only true emergencies in all of ophthalmology. Let me explain what's happening. Your retina is a paper-thin layer of light-sensitive tissue lining the back of your eye. Think of it like the film inside a camera. Without it, there is no image. There is no vision. After 60, the vitreous gel, the thick, jelly-like substance that fills the inside of your eye, begins to shrink and pull away from the retina. In most cases, this is harmless. It causes floaters, a little nuisance, nothing more. But in some cases, it pulls too hard. It tears the retina, and when fluid seeps through that tear and lifts the retina away from the back of the eye, the clock starts ticking. Every minute that passes, more retinal cells are dying. More vision is being lost permanently. Studies show that when a retinal detachment reaches the macula, that critical central vision center we talked about, visual outcomes drop dramatically, even with successful surgery. Time is not on your side. I'll never forget a patient named James, 67 years old, former Marine, tough as nails. He noticed flashing lights on a Tuesday evening, but figured it was just stress, maybe tiredness. He waited until Thursday morning. By then, the detachment had reached his macula. We performed emergency surgery. We saved his eye. But his central vision in that eye? Gone. He told me afterward, with tears he clearly didn't want to shed. I just didn't think it was serious enough to make a fuss about. Please, make the fuss. What you should do: learn these 3 words and never forget them. Flashes, floaters, curtain. Any sudden increase in floaters, any new flashes of light, any shadow or curtain across your vision, that is a 911 call for your eyes. Get emergency care immediately. This is one condition where acting fast is the difference between sight and permanent darkness. Number 2, a gradual loss of side vision. You barely notice until it's gone. And now we arrive at something I call the silent thief. Because unlike a retinal detachment, which announces itself dramatically, this one takes your vision so slowly, so quietly, so gently, that by the time most people realize what's happening, they have already lost up to 40% of their vision permanently, with no pain, no redness, no warning they could feel. I'm talking about glaucoma. Here's the brutal science behind it. Inside your eye, a fluid called aqueous humor is constantly being produced and drained. It's a perfect balanced system when it works correctly. But in glaucoma, that drainage system begins to fail. Fluid builds up. Pressure inside the eye rises. And that pressure, silently, invisibly, begins to crush the optic nerve, the single cable that carries everything you see directly to your brain. Once optic nerve fibers are destroyed, they do not come back, ever. The World Health Organization estimates that glaucoma affects over 80 million people worldwide, and nearly half of them don't know they have it. Half, because in the most common form, open-angle glaucoma, peripheral vision disappears first. And our brains are remarkably good at compensating, filling in the gaps, pretending everything is fine, until it isn't. I had a patient, a 64-year-old woman named Patricia, who came to me because she kept bumping into things on her left side. Door frames, shopping carts, her grandchildren running toward her. She laughed it off at first, said she was just becoming clumsy in her old age. When I mapped her visual field that afternoon, she had lost the entire left peripheral vision in both eyes. Irreversible. We started her on pressure-lowering drops immediately to protect what remained. But I sat with her for a long time that day, because what she lost, she would never get back. What you should do: if you are over 60, you should be having a comprehensive eye exam, including eye pressure measurement and optic nerve evaluation, at least once every year. Not just a vision screening at the pharmacy, a full dilated exam with a qualified ophthalmologist. Glaucoma caught early can almost always be managed successfully. Glaucoma caught late cannot be undone. The question is simply, which side of that line will you fall on? Number 1, the vision change that looks exactly like normal aging, but isn't. We've talked about retinal detachments. We've talked about glaucoma. We've talked about macular degeneration. And every single one of those conditions is serious. But the number one vision threat I see destroying the lives of people over 60 is something so common, so familiar, so deeply misunderstood, that millions of people are living with it right now, dismissing it, delaying it, accepting it as simply getting older, while quietly, progressively, losing the ability to see the faces of the people they love most. I'm talking about cataracts, but not cataracts the way you think you know them. Because here is what nobody is telling you. A cataract is not just blurry vision. A cataract is not just needing stronger glasses. A cataract, left untreated, ignored, delayed, becomes a life-altering, independence-stealing, dignity-robbing condition that reaches far beyond your eyes. And the research proves it. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Here is the science that should change everything for you. Inside your eye sits a natural lens, perfectly clear at birth, designed to focus light precisely onto your retina like a flawless piece of glass. But after decades of UV exposure, oxidative stress, and the simple passage of time, that lens begins to cloud. Proteins inside the lens, proteins that have been perfectly organized since the day you were born, begin to clump together. The cloudiness starts small, a slight haze, easy to dismiss, but it grows, month by month, year by year, until light can no longer pass through cleanly, until the world looks like you are perpetually staring through a frosted window, or through deep, murky water, or through a candle flame that never quite comes into focus. And here is where it gets deeply serious. A landmark study published in the journal Ophthalmology found that older adults with untreated vision impairment from cataracts had a significantly higher risk of developing dementia. Let that sink in. Your eyes are not separate from your brain. They are an extension of it. When your visual system is starved of clear, sharp input, your brain begins to disengage. Neural pathways weaken. Cognitive load increases. The brain works harder and harder just to interpret a blurry, distorted world. And over time, that strain takes a devastating neurological toll. But that is not all. A study from the Journal of the American Medical Association found that cataract surgery was associated with a 29% reduced risk of dementia development in older adults. 29%, just by restoring clear vision. Think about what that means. This is not just about seeing clearly. This is about keeping your mind sharp. This is about staying independent. This is about being present, fully, completely present, for your grandchildren, your partner, your life. I want to tell you about a woman named Eleanor, 71 years old, former piano teacher. A woman who had spent her entire life immersed in beauty, music, art, her garden bursting with color every spring. She came to me after her daughter insisted. Eleanor had been telling everyone her vision was fine, that she just needed better lighting, that she was managing perfectly well. Her daughter told me a different story. Eleanor had stopped playing piano 8 months earlier. She said the sheet music was too hard to read. She had given up driving. She had stopped going to her garden club, the social cornerstone of her week for 20 years, because she couldn't see well enough to feel confident outside alone. She was withdrawing from her own life, one piece at a time. When I examined Eleanor that afternoon, both lenses were significantly clouded, advanced cataracts in both eyes. I asked her, "Elena, how long have you noticed the change in your vision?" She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "About 3 years. But I didn't want to be a bother. 3 years. 3 years of a shrinking world. 3 years of lost music. 3 years of quiet isolation, all because she thought her vision was just part of getting older." We scheduled surgery within 2 weeks. The procedure itself took 11 minutes per eye. 11 minutes. When Eleanor came in for her follow-up the next morning and I removed the protective shield from her eye, she looked around the room, and she began to cry. Not from sadness, from the sheer overwhelming shock of color, of sharpness, of a world she had forgotten existed. She looked at me and said, "I didn't know how much I had lost, until I could see again." She was back at her piano within a month, back in her garden the following spring. Here's the hardest truth I will tell you today. Cataracts are 100% treatable. The surgery is among the most performed, most successful, most life-changing procedures in all of modern medicine, with a success rate exceeding 95%. It is quick. It is safe. It is covered by most insurance plans. And yet, the World Health Organization estimates that cataracts are responsible for 51% of world blindness, affecting approximately 20 million people globally, not because there is no cure, but because people wait, they minimize, they tell themselves it's not that bad yet, they don't want to be a bother, and by the time they act, or someone acts for them, the window for the best possible outcome has quietly closed. Do not be that person. Do not let the person you love be that person. What you must do right now. If you are over 60, or someone you love is over 60, and vision has changed in any way, colors look duller, halos appear around lights at night, headlights blind you when driving, reading requires more effort. The world has a subtle fog that never quite clears. Those are not inconveniences. Those are your eyes asking for help. And the answer, the clear, science-backed, life-changing answer, is as close as a single phone call to an ophthalmologist. 11 minutes. That is all it took to give Eleanor her world back. What would you do with yours? You made it this far, and that tells me something important about you. You didn't scroll past, you didn't dismiss this as just another health video. You stayed. And that means somewhere inside, you understand that your vision is not just a sense. It is your independence. It is your connection to the people you love. It is the way you see your grandchild's face on their first day of school. The way you read a letter written just for you. The way you watch the sun set from your porch and think, I am still here, and the world is still beautiful. That is worth protecting, with everything you have. So let's bring it all together, because knowledge without action is just worry. And I don't want you to leave this video feeling afraid. I want you to leave feeling equipped. We started with number 5, needing more light just to see. Simple, easy to dismiss. But your eyes' quiet signal that something is changing inside. Your lens is yellowing, your pupil is shrinking, and your brain is working overtime to compensate. What to do? Schedule a comprehensive eye exam. Don't wait for your next annual checkup. Go now. Then we covered number 4, straight lines that look wavy or bent. That gentle curve in a door frame, that subtle distortion on a page. The earliest whisper of macular degeneration, the number 1 cause of severe vision loss in adults over 60. What to do? Test yourself with an Amsler grid today. Cover one eye. Look at the center dot. If lines bend, call your eye doctor immediately. We moved into number 3, flashes of light and the curtain closing across your vision. A retinal emergency, the kind that demands you stop, stand up, and seek care within hours, not days. What to remember? Flashes, floaters, curtain. Those 3 words could save your sight. Share them with everyone you love over 60. Then came number 2, the silent, painless disappearance of your side vision. Glaucoma, the thief that takes up to 40% of your vision before most people notice a single symptom. Crushing your optic nerve with pressure you cannot feel and cannot reverse. What to do? Get a full dilated eye exam every single year, including eye pressure testing and optic nerve evaluation. This is non-negotiable after 60. And finally, number 1, cataracts. The most common, the most treatable, the most heartbreakingly delayed. The condition that took Elena's piano, her garden, her world, for 3 years, before an 11-minute procedure gave it all back. The condition linked, in peer-reviewed research, to a 29% reduced risk of dementia when treated promptly. The condition responsible for 51% of global blindness, not because it cannot be fixed, but because people wait too long to ask for help. What to do? If colors look duller, if night driving feels dangerous, if the world has a fog that glasses no longer clear, call an ophthalmologist this week, not next month. This week, here is what I want you to walk away with today. Your eyes have been working for you every single moment of your life. From the very first morning light you ever saw, to this exact moment, reading these words right now. They have never asked for anything. They have never complained. They have simply shown you the world, faithfully, silently, beautifully, for every decade of your life. Now it is your turn to show up for them. A single eye appointment, 1 phone call, 45 minutes in a chair. That is all that stands between you and the peace of knowing exactly where your vision stands, and exactly what you can do to protect it. You are not too old to act. You are not too late. Eleanor was 71 when she got her world back. You could be next. Now here is what I need you to do right now, before you close this video. First, drop a comment below telling me which of these 5 warning signs surprised you the most. Was it the dementia connection? The Amsler grid test? The fact that glaucoma causes no pain at all? Tell me. I read every single comment. And your answer might be exactly what another viewer over 60 needs to see to finally take action. Second, Share this video with one person you love who is over 60, not because it's a good video, but because it might be the reason they pick up the phone tomorrow morning. It might be the reason they keep their independence for another decade. It might be the reason they still recognize your face, clearly, sharply, beautifully, for years to come. Third, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Because every week I bring you the honest, science-backed truth about your eye health that most doctors don't have time to tell you in a 15-minute appointment. You deserve to know this. You deserve to see clearly for the rest of your life. I'm Dr. Name. Thank you for trusting me with your time today. Now go protect your vision, because the world is too beautiful, and the people in your life are too precious to see any of it through a fog. Take care of your eyes, and I will see you in the next video.